Rankin McSween. I really enjoyed it. I'd like to ask everybody 4 questions, but I guess they don't want me to do that. But maybe I'll go Caitlin, if you wouldn't mind, just to pick one. I'd love you to talk more about your notion that women are going to lead as entrepreneurs, that they're going to play this critical role. I'd love to hear a little more about that.
I'd love to tell you about that. Well, one of the things that is motivating our decision is we know that women are the best early adopters of new online products. They're very socially networked. Women actually make 85% of all consumer buying decisions, yet only 4% of tech companies are led by women, and only 3% of creative advertising directors are women. So 9 in 10 women feel completely misunderstood by big brands. So suddenly all of these women are coming to the forefront who understand what women want, and they're building better companies and better products to support those women. And that's the movement that's happening.
Okay, thank you.
Saeed.
Well, I'm Saeed Balderhalper, the CEO of Simplycast. Great job, everybody. And welcome to our coalition. Question to actually all of you guys, and if you don't mind, just if there's one thing that the coalition can do for you specifically, what would it be? And then we'll just go down the line if you don't mind.
I can lead, I guess. For us, we're in the process of fundraising, and fundraising is notoriously hard for female-founded startups. In $820 billion of venture capital that's invested annually in North America, 2% of that goes to women. So what we need is more female angels that are educated about how to invest so that they can come forward and support us and support growing our economy in Nova Scotia.
I guess if we're going sort of specific, there's lots of things related to funding and stuff that are kind of general, but for us as a marine technology company, we're finding that a lot of in-government ocean tech is used as an umbrella to define both biotechnology and marine technology, and the value chains for the two are incredibly different. So sort of, I guess sort of making that definition or difference would be something that could help us.
Thank you for your question. So of course, it's relevant to where we are currently in our growth stage, and we're about to graduate from Volta. So it's a fun, exciting time as we do grow. But a big problem that I foresee is managing that growth. And if we are to stay in Nova Scotia, having the resources and mentorship in place to achieve that. So just as an example, I just spent the last couple of weeks touring in Phoenix and Silicon Valley, and the thing that was at the front of my mind was I can't wait to get back to Nova Scotia and get to work, but then also laying out the logistics plan to get that done. So help with that, with setting up shop here would be most helpful.
Yeah, I'd probably echo everything that's been said. And as well, I think the devil's really in the details when it comes to entrepreneurship and getting businesses off the ground. And so I think taking a look at getting pretty granular about the process to administratively start a business, get access to funding, that sort of thing, streamlining it, and pulling out inefficiencies and duplication wherever possible. Coordinating between points of contact and that sort of thing. I think just to make it super simple for someone who's kind of on the fence about starting a business, and making it really easy to kind of lift the fog when they take the leap.
Gaynor. Hi, I'm Gaynor Watson-Creek from Capitol Health. Thank you for the presentations, they were fantastic. And the subtext that felt to me in each of the presentations was, Nova Scotia's great. It's a great place to live, it's a great place to start a business, it's a great place to invest. So my question for you is that a hard sell, do you find?
What a hard sell.
The concept that Nova Scotia is great.
We're getting a reputation. If you go to Toronto, if you go to Montreal, people know what's happening here, and they complement our ecosystem, and that's the hard work of Jevon and others at Volta to make that happen. So I don't think it was a hard sell. It might have been a few years ago, but people have been doing the work. And
Yeah, and in the marine technology realm, we're finding it's amazing how open the owners of companies are. The support that we're getting from the marine technology community is really kind of overwhelming a lot. So it's sort of, whereas the organizations I feel sometimes overlap and kind of get a little siloed in what they're doing, the overall business community and sort of people to get mentorship from and stuff is, I can't really think of a case where I've made a contact or made a call and they've been like, no, I don't have half an hour for you. Like, it's really amazing how great the experience has been so far from that side on the business side.
I will say in the last few weeks it's been a tough sell, given the weather. But no, speaking to affiliates, partners, potential investors who are from away, I don't think they really care. As long as the product is really good and you have a good team around you and you show that, which we do, then I don't think it matters. Just the nature of how we do business. I mean, there is so much global networking required anyway. So just as an example, we've made a great affiliation with a partner lab, essentially, that will allow us to expand into labs globally. We can manage that from here. So it's not a tough sell, no. Yeah.
Yeah, personally, when I started this business, I'm from Toronto and I considered going home to do it there, but ultimately chose to start the business in Nova Scotia because of the connectivity here. And I've worked with 2 other technology companies, so I had a bit of an introduction, but it was kind of a no-brainer when it came to the support to getting at least this business off the ground, and some of the incredibly supportive people within ACOA and NSBI that have been huge champions for us as well.
A related question, again, thank you for the presentations. They were excellent. My name's Henry Damone. And if you could change one thing about the startup ecosystem here, what would it be? You only have one thing you could change. And any of you can answer.
Money's always nice.
So better access to capital.
Yeah, better access to capital. I think, like we do, I think as sort of my co-founders here have said, it is actually pretty amazing how good ACOA is to us, NRC, oftentimes Innova Corp. Like, we do kind of have that, there's a lot of support there, but, those are little chunks of money that help you get off the ground and everything. But, to build a global brand takes quite a bit of capital. And you look at what all 4 of us are doing here, and to get that awareness in, for me, like Chesapeake Bay or the coast of California, like, it takes money to get there and get those customers and bring that money back to Nova Scotia. So that's kind of what I'd say.
If I could echo that, I would say that absolutely what he said, and then also because of what the investor landscape is like, a lot of Eastern Canada companies feel compelled to go west because they get higher valuations for their company, they can access more capital, and they don't have to give up as much, and they can access more talent. So we really need to fix that problem. Otherwise, what you're going to get is what none of us want to do, which is starting your company here, having it be budding and successful, and then knowing you need to go elsewhere. We've already made multiple trips to Toronto to determine whether or not we need to be there. Because ultimately, my vision is to build this company here, but my ultimate vision is to build this company. And I'll go where I have to go to make that happen.
It's interesting when I think about investment capital specifically. Like I've locally in Nova Scotia, I've been successful in a friends and family round because people know me, they trust me. But just the kinds of investors that are in front of me, they don't seem as willing to take risk and potentially quite a substantial risk. If we talk about the success rate of entrepreneurs, and our mission is ambitious, so add that layer of complexity. But then, flip it up and you go out to Silicon Valley and they're like, okay, well, I get it right away within 30 seconds of talking to you, Jeremy. I mean, this is the kind of money that you need to raise, and I can put you in touch with the people to do it. But I don't want to remove the responsibility and the onus that's on the entrepreneur to figure that stuff out, because if it wasn't for the detailed questioning and the skepticism, I wouldn't be able to answer those important questions globally that have given me more traction outside. So I think that a solution I see there, and the problem that I encountered is bringing those investors in to the Nova Scotia network. They may not have to live here, but certainly to bring international talent here from an investment front on a regular basis, I foresee that as a huge benefit to Nova Scotia. Yeah.
Yeah, and the only other thing I'd add is that it's just sort of to the extent that we're talking about expanding entrepreneurship within Nova Scotia, to be as open-minded and sort of all-encompassing as possible about what constitutes entrepreneurship and a startup. And we represent a certain type of business, sort of high-potential, export-oriented business, but entrepreneurship comes in all shapes and sizes, and to sort of better understand what people across a broad swath of entrepreneurs need to start and grow here.
I guess sort of one last point to that, you know, in BC and what have you, I think they've got a $100 incorporation package. Here the laws require us, or the regulations require us to hire a lawyer. It's a $1,500 to $2,000 endeavor just to get incorporated. And that's an onerous hit, right, or barrier right off the bat, you know, if you're going to incorporate a business that other provinces don't have to deal with. So that'd be a big one, no matter if it's a small startup that's focused locally or like us that are looking to go global.
Are we the outlier, or is BC the outlier?
I think we're the outlier right now. You still actually incorporate and you get your business number written in hand on a piece of paper, which...
Thanks. First of all, congratulations and thanks for your presentation. And I'll finish your phrase, them damn lawyers. Maybe just speak briefly to how important the atmosphere and the culture that was generated by Volta, or it has been. One of the things that you often hear from an entrepreneur, particularly is the isolation, and particularly in small business, particularly in the infancy of it. Maybe just speak a little bit about how important it has been to have Volta or that culture around for your businesses.
It's been everything. It's been the catalyst, I think, for all of us. I mean, I went into this so naive, and it was in being graciously welcomed to Volta that my eyes were blown open, and it's made me such a better entrepreneur, and it's allowed me to get through really hard times because we have community, and so it's everything.
Yeah, it was on a tour of Volta when I was running my consulting company. One of my clients took me on a tour that they were doing, and really kind of seeing that community in that space opened up my eyes, and really kind of, you know, I've relied on all three here for advice at various times and what have you, and that's invaluable.
Yeah, and I think even just more simply than that, I remember my initial meeting with Milan, who is the former director of Volta, and sharing my idea with him, and him seeing the look in my eyes, and you know, the conversation started. You know, we don't have any space right now, but then he said, you know, Jeremy, for that idea, I'll give you my office, and I'll sit in the stairwell. So just that. You know, empathy for the passion, I think, and just. Really, just more than anything, just wanting to foster that without any hidden agenda. It's a safe place. You trust your colleagues. You trust your mentors. So I'd echo Caitlin's statement. It's been everything. We wouldn't have been able to do what we've done thus far without Volta. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We wouldn't be where we are if it weren't for Volta. I think both sort of for very practical reasons, like when businesses are as small as ours, the amounts of money that make a huge difference are like rounding errors for other people. So that's a big help, but it's also, you know, being able to sit together with a group of other people who are in exactly the same position that you're in, and to speak openly and candidly about the challenges that you're facing and get some incredible support and feedback from the mentors and from each other. It's invaluable.
And thank you to Nova Scotia for making that happen.